if you're a man serious about actually leveling up and achieving greatness in your life, which you probably are since you've clicked on this video, if you can make sure that you take action on the highest leverage activity or activities every single day in your personal life, in your business, whatever, you will be miles ahead of your competition that it genuinely won't even be funny. Because the simple fact of the matter is that most men don't understand what leverage is, and they just rely on hard work alone without the smart work element. And therefore, they're oftentimes just running around in circles, not necessarily getting the most optimal result for the same amount of work as maybe their competitor or another man who is taking action, who's putting in the same amount of effort, but taking action on higher leverage activities and therefore getting 10x the results as you or 100x the results as you, right? Because that man understands the concept of leverage. And this is something that I've been doing really for the last year or so now and getting better at it every single day. And it's understanding the simple principle of 80-20, right? The 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle, like understanding that in most cases and in most areas of your life, 20% of your work, 20% of the action steps that you take, the stuff that you take action on, produces 80% of the results. And this genuinely applies to every single area of your life, whether that's business, which is the most used example for this principle, or in the gym for hitting your fitness goals, right? Maybe it's 20% of certain foods that produce 80% of the results for you. Maybe it's 20% of the exercises that you do that produce 80% of the results for your to become more aesthetic in your body and all that. Whatever it is, it could also be like 20% of the people that you talk to in a certain area or in a certain like setting produce 80% of your relationships, your good relationships, whatever it is. You know, you can really analyze and take this super, super deep in every single area and then every sub area of every area, if that makes sense. And so that's the first step, is understanding this rule and optimizing your life around it by basically looking at your day-to-day life and being completely transparent with yourself and saying, look, okay, what is it that basically gets most of my results in XYZ field? Let's just take the common example of like business, right? What is it that brings in 80% of my revenue? Is it email marketing? Is it sending messages? Is it cold calling? Is it going out there and pitching people, you know, door to door, whatever? What is it? Whatever it is, whatever that 20% is, you want to simply do more of. And the beauty of this is that, like, however broad or however specific you take it, again, you can apply this to anything, any area of your life. You will be able to find exactly what gives you the most leverage and therefore produces the most results for you for the least amount of work, if that makes sense. So that you're then able to free up a lot more time to give your rule in not only the 20% that's producing most of the results, but then you'll be able to also look at other ways to optimize, right? Because the whole point is that, like, when you start to think through this lens and start to optimize through this lens, you then become a lot more efficient, right? And so then say taking the business example, right? Say like you're running an online business, say like it's an agency or whatever, and you're pitching businesses to basically scale their revenue online, maybe through social media, and you realize that like sending cold emails are working really, really well. Like, you know, they're great and they're bringing in a lot of revenue. But then you also realize that like cold calling them isn't really working super well. And then you also realize, you look at another area of your client acquisition system and you realize referrals are bringing in a ton of revenue. Then all of a sudden, this is maybe more for like an established business, but all of a sudden you can focus super heavily on optimizing the referral side of your business, which let's say is bringing in 80% of your revenue for like also the least amount of work. And you decide to go full steam ahead on that, like really optimizing that section of your business. And then all of a sudden you may have like doubled, tripled, whatever, quadrupled your business after a few months by focusing super heavily on the referrals. And then from there, you've got a whole other set of new things to optimize on, right? Then you can look at, okay, what is the 20% within the referral side of my business that is producing the most results? And then from there, what is the 20% from that specific section that is producing the most results? So you can get super, super specific, and there's different layers to this in every single area, again, of your life. Like, if you're a man who is like really trying to get good in terms of your confidence and charisma, and you realize like 20% of the situations that you put yourself in every single day are the ones that produce 80% of the results for you. Maybe that's like specifically talking to strangers. Okay, you realize that's really giving you like the most results, as opposed to maybe trying to consume loads of knowledge, or trying to go to networking events, or maybe, I don't know, going ahead and like having, setting up more events with your friends or whatever, right? You realize the thing that's really developing your charisma and confidence is just talking to random strangers on the street, okay? If you realize that, you're going to start doing it more, because you realize that's producing 80% of the results. And then if that becomes like, say, 100% of your focus, you're going to get so many results from it that it's really going to like optimize your results and life by a ton, a lot more than your competitors or whatever. And then from there, you're then going to find the more specific 20% within that field that's going to optimize it even further, right? Maybe it's like, okay, now you're just only talking to strangers to like become more confident and charismatic. But then you realize there's like a specific time of the day that is best for it, right? Or maybe there's a specific area in your town that is best and that warrants the best results for you, right? Maybe there's, I don't know, the people are nicer, the people are friendlier, the people are more open there. Maybe there's just more people in a certain area, therefore you're able to get more results if you focus specifically on that area. And so I think you get where I'm coming from here, but if you just focus on these high leverage activities every single day and try to optimize every single area of your life every single day using this principle, before you know it, you're going to be so ahead of the field, so optimized, that it's genuinely impossible to not fall into the top 1% in whatever field you're optimizing, because most people, first off, don't understand this, and then secondly, even if they do understand it, they're not actually doing it. And so over time, like, the more you do this and the more you peel back the layers and go even deeper and look to be even more efficient in every single layer, right, and sub layer, etc., yeah, you're going to be honestly such a high leverage machine, and it's just going to force you to level up, right? The key part is actually identifying what this 20% is that produces 80% of the results, and then actually taking action on it, and really pretty much ditching all the other 80% which produces suboptimal results, to go all in on the 20% that produces most of the results. That's something that most people don't do or aren't prepared to do, is because they think they need to be doing everything to get results. But look, man, it's literally the law of the universe. Like, most of your results just comes from 20% of the work that you put in. You've got to just identify that in every single area of your life, because it's just it's one of the many laws of the universe, which I talk about a lot inside of my brotherhood, my inner circle, which you can learn more about in the link down below in the description. Because if you understand these different laws of the universe, you'll understand a lot more just about your life and how to optimize certain things and be more efficient. And efficiency ultimately is what keeps you ahead of the competition, keeps you ahead of everyone else, and able to basically be extraordinary, because most people aren't efficient. Most people are just going through their life coasting and doing the same daily mundane tasks without looking at the concept of leverage or efficiency, and therefore they just stay stuck in the same cycle time and time again, and maybe they stay stuck at 5k a month for the rest of their life, because they're never actually optimizing and looking at what it is that basically gets them the most results. So again, you can do this in every area. Like in the gym, it's a great example. For me recently, I realized that like 20% of the exercises that I was doing for, say, like my chest day, were producing the best results for me, and they also just felt the best. I just felt the most progress. I felt the my chest muscles the best, right? And so I just decided to focus more on them more than I was before. And therefore, by doing that, I'm able to get better results, right? Just by simply doing the same amount of work, but focusing on the highest leverage activity, okay? It's such an important topic. And I mean, I could talk about this for hours and hours, really. But I really wanted to keep this video as concise as possible and straight to the point as possible. My mission to you and my task for you is to, right now, after this video, make a list of 5 of the areas that you want to optimize the most in your life, whether that's like getting good with women, your confidence, charisma, maybe your fitness goals, maybe it's business related, of course, like making more money, whatever. And make a list of those areas. And then for each single area, make a list of 3 different areas within each area, which you like take action on to improve. Look at which one produces the best results, right? Which produces roughly 80% of the results. Then just focus on that specific thing, that specific activity for the next month or few months, and then reassess from there on out what is producing the best results within that specific thing to then optimize further. Okay, so it's basically continuous improvement. It never ends, and there's always something to then optimize on. There's always something to maybe optimize, or maybe outsource or automate, delegate, if it's business related. And as you progress, you start to learn more things as well, right? Like, so the more you optimize and the more you dive deeper down this rabbit hole, the more learnings appear in your mind. So it's hard to understand right now, but you can only understand this by actually taking action and like going ahead and focusing only on the highest leverage activities, because from there you're going to realize a whole new world opens up where, okay, there's a whole new thing, like a whole new set of things to optimize on. But that's stuff that you can only realize once you actually start to optimize, because if you don't, you'll never actually know. So that's my man-to-man mission for you, because you'll see that it will help you a ton. And I hope this video helped. Take action, most importantly, and I'll see you in the next video.